السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نعم نحن في الدرس العاشر. We're in the 10th lesson, الدرس العاشر. And for those of you who have the book, please turn to the index so we can go over the notes that will help us, with this lesson. So in this lesson, we're going to be learning about possessive pronouns. I mentioned it in the previous lesson. We talked about when we made Beitun, Beituhu, his house. So this lesson is meant to help you to understand the possessive pronouns, the doma'ir, muttasila. They're also the nouns which are muttasila, meaning they connect, right? They connect to the noun, to the word, to the ism. So so the first part they have kitabuka. If you're looking in the back of the book, it starts with kitabuka, so it adds. So remember, you can't have it when you make it possessive like that, and you add a possessive pronoun. It can no longer have tanween. So you're basically going to take away one of the dhammas. You're going to have one haraka on the last letter, and you add the letter, the possessive pronoun, which is going to give it possession to the person or thing or what have you. So for ka, so a kaf with a fatha on it means you masculine. Okay, so if you want to, so you have kitabun, you want to make it your book, then drop off one of the dhammas on ba on the last letter. So we have kitabu, and then you add the kaf with the fatha, and it becomes kitabuka, your book. If we want to make it his book, we just add the ha with a dhamma, and it's kitabuhu. So the hu stands for him. All right. So kitabuhu. For her, you would add a ha that has elongated aleph on it. Right. So we make it kitabuha, her book. And if I want to make it my book, you get rid of the tanween altogether. Get rid of both dhammas. Add a ya to the last letter. Put a kasra under the last letter, which here in this case is the ba. And it becomes kitabi with a ya at the end. Kitabi. Okay. Now, so a couple other things. Just remember the word for father in Arabic is abun, and brothers akhun. If we want to, when we add a possessive pronoun to ab or akh, it becomes for your brother. If you see in the book there, it's akhuka, your brother. And you just basically, you're going to have a wow. You add a wow, and then you add the possessive pronoun to it. So it becomes, so add a wow to the last letter. So ab, you make it your ab, your father. So abun becomes, you get rid of one of the dhammas, add a wow, it becomes abuka. And the same thing with akhun, you get rid of one of the dhammas, add a wow, and it becomes akhuka. Naam. And so like in the Adolphic construction, you also do the same thing in the Adolphic construction. Okay, so Abu Muhammadan, in that construction, you will have you put a wow at the end of ab. You don't just get rid of one of the dhammas. You also have to put that wow there and put a sukoon over the wow. So Abu Muhammadan, Akhu Muhammadan, same thing. Okay, but then when we use from me, when you're talking about my father, my brother, then there's no extra wow. You get rid of the wow, and then you just put a yeah at the end, and it becomes akhi or abi. Okay. Now, and let's see. So we learned about inda, which means with. Can be used to convey the idea of to have. Like you say, indaka qalamun. Do you have a pen? Indaka. So it's like with you. Indaka, with you, qalamun. So it means, literally means, is there a pen with you? But it's like you would translate it, do you have a pen? Okay. عندك قلم. Okay. And then the laam with the kasra, as we know, is laam milkiyyah, means belonging to. And when it's attached to the pronouns, it actually takes a fatha instead of, so, where when it's attached to a regular, like a name, like, hadi siyaratu li Muhammadan, so this is Muhammad's car. Whereas when you attach a pronoun to it, it takes the lam takes the fatha. So if we want to say belonging to you, يعني هذا القلم, this pen, لك, right? So you put a fatha over the lam, and then you add that pronoun to it, and it becomes laka, to you, belonging to you, lahu, belonging to him, laha, belonging to her, and then li, you just put you keep the kasra under the lam, and just add that ya at the end, that ya which refers to ana, yani, so li, belonging to me. Okay, so, and you could use this to say, refer to something you have, like li akhun means I have a brother. Okay, yani, literally a brother belongs to me, so it's li akhun. So li, to me, akhun, a brother. Okay, so if you want to say I have a brother, you can say li akhun, li famun, I have a mouth. The mouth belongs to me, li famun. So we say here, so it's this, like in Amiya, you could use indi to, like, say I have a brother, I have this, or I have that. Where in the Fusha you don't use it that way. You say, in the notes you have here, it's wrong to say indi akhun. I have a brother, or indi famun, I have a mouth, because inda is used with things which are separable, and relations and parts of the body are not of this nature. Okay. We learned that dahaba means he went. So now we're going to get into adding the pronouns to the verbs, so you can indicate who's doing the action. Okay, so whereas dahaba, he went, if you want to make it you went, the last letter, you put a sukoon on it, and then and don't worry, we're gonna, I'm not writing all this out yet. I just want to go over briefly what's in the index with you, and then we're gonna see all this in the lesson, inshallah. So dahaba is he went. If to make it you went, you can no longer you drop the you get rid of the last haraka, and you put a sukoon on the last haraka, and then you put a ta with a fatha on it, which means, so that then you have the heb. So you stop on the back because you have a sukoon. The hebta means you went masculine. The hebta. The heb, if you want to make it you went feminine, it's the hebti. You put a ta with a kesra. The hebti. I went the hebtu. Right. So you have it. So for each one of those, you have a ta at the end. In the pronoun, who the action is being done by. The fa'il, you're going to see that with the haraka, which is on that last letter. So if it's the habtu is I went, the habta you went masculine, the habti you went feminine. So مثل الذهبت إلى مدرسة اليوم. Did you go to school today? الذهبت, did you masculine? إلى المدرسة, you go to the school. اليوم today. نعم ذهبت, yes I went. ذهبت, okay. And we also learned that feminine proper nouns have no tanween, all right? So it's like Maryamu, Aminatu, right? So they only have the one haraka at the end. Likewise, masculine proper nouns with the ta marbuta ending, they also have no tanween. Okay, so if because there are masculine names, like I said, like the ta marbuta does not, in all cases indicate a feminine word, but that's a likely indicator. But like you have masculine names like Hamzatu, it also has no tanween, right? Hamzatu, Usamatu, Muawiyatu. So all those words have a ta marbuta at the end, and it's a proper name, so it only has one dhamma. Okay, ma means with, to understand the difference between ma and inda. If you say al mudarrisu inda al mudiri, the teacher is with the headmaster, it means that the teacher has gone to the headmaster's office. He's with him there, in his office. So, and likewise, you could say, Ammi indi, my paternal uncle is with me, meaning he's at your house. He's with you. Wherever you are, like not with you, like meaning like he went somewhere and he's staying with you, or he came to visit you, right? So Ammi indi, okay. So it means he's with him there. But ma'a doesn't have this restriction. So if you say al-mudarrisu ma'a al-mudiri, the teacher is with the headmaster can be anywhere. It doesn't necessarily mean that he went to his office to go see him. So they could be walking down the street together. You say al-mudarrisu ma'a al-mudiri, where inda indicates that he's with him, at his location, like his office, or what have you. Okay. Okay. Now, bin jami'a, at the university. B, so you have ba is a preposition meaning at or in. Like Jami'atun Islamiyatu bil Madinatun Munawwara. So a Jami'atun Islamiyatu means the Islamic University, and that B, it can mean in or with. In this sense, it means at. Bil Madinatun Munawwarati. At the city al Munawwara means the enlightened city, yani the city of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which we shorten and we just say al Medina, yani. But al Medina literally means the city. Okay. So in lesson one, we learned that ma means what. This word also is used as a negative particle. So if you say, as we know, indi means have. If you put the ma in front of it, that can negate it. So you can say ma indi sayaratin. So if you say indi sayaratin, I have a car. Ma indi sayaratin means I don't have a car. Okay. And just to go over the new vocabulary real quick, al-fatah means the young man. Al-fatah. Wahidun is one. As-samiru is a colleague or classmate. As-zawju, the husband. At-tiflu, the child. Okay, now to proceed, inshallah. So, the dars al-ashiru, we have a conversation here between Hamid and Muhammad. So it starts out with Hamid. He says, Man anta? Who are you? Anta. Man anta. Muhammadan, ana talibun bin jami'ati. I am a talibun, a student, bil jami'ati. So it can mean in, or here, yani it's in the sense of at. I am a student at the university, bil jami'ati. And notice that the ta marbuta has a kasra. Why? Because B is from the huruf al-jar. So this ba with a kasra makes the word that comes after it majroor. Okay, like we say Bismillah. Bismillah. So you notice the meme in ism gets a kasra. Bismillah. So هنا أنا طالب بالجامعة. Okay. حامد أنت طالب جديد? Are you a new student? محمد نعم أنا طالب جديد. Yes, I am a new student. حامد من أين أنت? Where are you from? من أين أنت? Okay. محمد أنا من الهند. So this is the name of a country where you see it's not ممنوع من الصرف, right? Even though it's not it's another country, like we notice a lot, like America, Indonesia, a lot of those countries, the ممنوع من الصرف. Hind is not one of them, right? India is not one of them. So أنا من الهندي, so it becomes majroor because of min. Min is min huruf al-jar. It makes al-hind majroor. It makes the word after it majroor. أنا من الهندي, so I'm from India. Masmuka, notice the hamzatul wasl, right? So with the ma here, meaning what, is going to go right to the scene. Masmuka, and there's only one dhamma over the meme. Why? Because of possessive pronoun. When you add this possessive pronoun, this ka right here. Let me, sorry, bring this up so we can underline some of this. Okay, so when you bring in this ka right here, this possessive pronoun, then you can't have tanween on the word that you're adding it to. Okay, so it becomes ismuka, and because this ma is in front of it for the flow of reading, this hamza becomes a hamza to wasl, and you just say masmuka. Okay, so he asked, what's your name? Ka is with, so ka for the fatha is for you, masculine. Muhammad, he says, Ismi Muhammadun. Ismi Muhammadun. My name is Muhammad. Okay. Let's go down a little bit. Okay. Ismi Muhammadun. Hamidun. ومن هذا الفتى الذي معك? And who is this fatah, this young man? الذي, who? So remember, الذي, when it refers to a human being, then or someone with an aql, and so it could be referring to a jinn or human being. When it's going to be who, we're going to translate it as who. If we're referring to something غير عاقل, like an inanimate object or a thing, then it's something or animal, something غير عاقل. Then we're gonna translate it as which. So من هذا الفتى الذي معك? Who is this young man? معك. So you notice once again you have this kaf, which with a tan marbut on it, which is a possessive pronoun, right? So you have ismuka, ma'aka. So you added this ka at the end to mean with you, because ma by itself means with. You have the kaf, ma'aka, with you. Yeah, and it's a you masculine. Muhammadan, huwa zamiri. Huwa zamiri. So notice this ya at the end, and that zamil by itself. Let's write it out here. Okay. So we have let's see, zamilun. It's going to get a tanween at the end, right? Zamilun. So in order to, when we add this possessive pronoun, when we're adding a ya, meaning my, me, when you're indicating, when a possession goes back to ana, goes back to I, me, then you get rid of the tanween and you put a kesra under the last letter. So zamilun becomes zamili, and you just put that ya. So the ya at the end just continues that e sound. Zamiri, he's my colleague or companion, yani, usually referring to a classmate. So here they're in school together, so he's referring to his classmate. Huwa zamiri. Okay. Hamidun. Ahuwa aidan min al-Hindi. Aidan means also. So ahuwa is he. Aidan also min al-Hindi. Is he also from al-Hind, from India? Muhammadan. La. Huwa min al-Yabani. No, he is from al-Yaban. He is from Japan. Hamidun. So notice the hamza to wasl. Masmuhu. So it's mes. So remember we have. Let's go back to here. I'm going to put a dum. You lose the tanween because of the possessive pronoun. When you add the possessive pronoun, the tanween gets dropped, and you have just one haraka. Okay. So in this case, it's just the one dhamma because it's still in marfu'. The rule is marfu'. There's the hukm and rafa on it. So we say masmuhu. What is his name? Masmuhu. That's what the ha or the dhamma stands for. His. Okay. Masmuhu. Ismuhu. And notice we pronounce the alif because it's not. We don't have nothing in front of it to make it hamza to wasl. So you pronounce the hamza. Ismuhu. Hamzatu. So hamzatu is a masculine name. It has a tan marbuta, and being a proper name, it has one haraka. Doesn't have tanween. It has one dhamma. Okay? Ismuhu hamzatu. Okay. Ma lughatuka ya Muhammadan. So now he's asking him, what is your language? So lugha by itself. Put it here. Okay, laam is lughatan, right? Yep. So once again, we're adding this possessive kaf, yani this pronoun, dhamir muttasil, to the word lughatan. So we get rid of one of the dhammas, so it becomes lughatu, and then you put the kaf. And since he's addressing a man. He's addressing someone masculine. So he says lughatuka, your language, lughatuka. Ma lughatuka ya Muhammadan. Let me just clear this out and we'll go to the next page. Okay. Muhammadan. Lughati. So notice lughatan. Once again, get rid of the tanween. He's saying my language, so he add the ya and just put a kesra under the last letter, which here is a ta, right? Lugati, okay? Lugati al-urdu, al-urdiyatu. So he's saying my language is al-urdiya, is Urdu, okay? Urdu, which is spoken in the Indian subcontinent. Also, in Pakistan, they speak Urdu, okay? Which actually has a lot of Arabic words in it. It's just they just pronounce it differently. Okay. Muhammad, lugati al-urdiya. Okay. Hamidan, hiya lugatan sahlatan. So why did he say hiya? Yani he's referring back to urdiya. Urdiya, yani it's this like lugha. So basically, when you're describing a language, because lugha is a feminine word, it has a tan marbuta. Yani you put a tam marbuta at the end of the language, al-arabiyatu, al-ingiliziyatu, al-urdiyatu, wa hakada, al-siniyatu, right? and so it's going to be feminine. So here, hiya is referring back to urdiya, yani urdu. Okay, hiya lugatun sahlatun. Is it an easy language? Muhammad, na'am. Hiya lugatun sahlatun. Yes, it's an easy language. Hamidun wa hamzatu. Ma lugatuhu. And hamzatu. Okay, and Hamza, what is his language? So this ha with a dhamma refers back to him. Okay, so once again, with luga, get rid of the tanween. You just knock out one dhamma, so you just have one dhamma on it. Lugatuhu, ma lugatuhu. What is his language? Okay, Muhammadan, lugatuhu al-yabaniyatu. His language is Japanese. Lugatuhu al-yabaniyatu. Okay, so Yabaniya has to agree with Luga because Luga is feminine. It's a tam marbuta, so you also get a tam marbuta in the for the name of the language. Lugatuhu and Yabaniyatu. Well, here Lugatun Sa'batun. It is a hard language. Here Lugatun Sa'batun. Lugatun Yabani, and then they show some Japanese characters here. Okay. So, Aina Abuka ya Muhammadan. Where is your father? So this is what we were talking about in the introduction. Notice that, okay, so when we do, let's do this. I'll put it on right here. Okay, so ab by itself is like this, abun, and it has tanween on it, okay? So when we add a possessive pronoun to it, like the kaf with the fatha, you, masculine, then you wouldn't write it like, let me see. It would be a mistake to write it like this. Abuka, right? In Arabic, you have to write it with this wow. You add this extra wow, and that's for basically every character except for when you say Abi. So Abi is the one that's different. And go like this, right? So there's no wow when you say my father. Okay, so basically we got rid of one of the dhammas. We add this extra wow, and it's aina abuka. So basically there's like a sukoon over the wow, like it doesn't add an extra sound. It's basically elongating the oo sound. Aina abuka. Okay, where's your father? Ya Muhammadu. And why did I say Muhammadu? Because this this is nida. It makes, like when we're calling someone the name after it, we're calling it can no longer have tanween. It at this point it's going to have one haraka. So we drop one of the dhammas. So we say ya Muhammadu, because of this because of and nida. It's the for calling people and nida. Okay, Abi. So notice, here we go. Abi it doesn't have a wow. You don't need the extra wow. All you do is you add that at the end, put a kasra under the ba. So Abi, my father, fin Kuwaiti. He's in al-Kuwaiti. Okay. Huwa tabibun shahirun. He's a famous or well-known doctor. Wa aina ummuka. So notice doesn't have the same, it's not similar to ab in this respect. All right. So let's write it by itself. Okay, it goes like this. And there's a shadda on there and tanween. Okay, umun. So what it means is that in the word is two memes. So the shadda is a double letter. All right, so umun. So what happens when we add a possessive pronoun to it? We go like this. Yani umuka. And let me just put this here. See if it'll let me do it. Oops, I went back too far. Just put it over one spot here. Oops. Okay, so we get rid of one of the dhammas and the tanween, and it becomes ummuka. All right, but you still see the shadda over the meme, which means it's a double letter. No. So wa'aina ummuka, where is your mother? Here, aidun, or she also, Fil Kuwaiti. She's also in Kuwait. Ma'a Abi. Ma'a Abi, with my father. Hiya mudarrisatun hunaka. She is a teacher there. So notice the ta marbuta because we're talking about a female teacher, right? We're talking about his mom. So she couldn't be a mudarrisun. So we when you add that ta marbuta, remember put a fatha under this last letter in the word. So you put a fatha. Oops, what did I do? Oh, sorry. Put a fatha under this last under the scene. And when you add the ta marbuta, so mudarrisatun. Here mudarrisatun hunaka. Okay. Okay. Let's see. أذهبت إلى الكويت يا محمد. So remember, when you have this ya and nida, then you can't have tanween on the person's name who you're addressing. They're just going to have one haraka. So this is going to be a dhamma on the last letter. Ya Muhammad. Sorry, my handwriting is not the best at this point. Okay. And so notice, so the original verb was dhahaba, right? So put that here. Okay. Let's see. Oops. Dhahaba. So the original word is dhahaba, where you have a fatha on all, over all three letters, dhahaba. And in order to attach this pronoun, to make it, so we can show who the doer is, who the fa'al is of the verb. So you have to put, the first thing you do, you get rid of this, you put a sukoon on the last letter. Okay, so instead of dhahaba, it becomes dhahab, and then you add whoever the person that you're addressing, the mukhatab, the person that's being addressed, and the mukhatab here is you, masculine. So you can add a ta with a fatha. Okay, ta with a fatha will mean you. At-dhahabta, did you go? At-dhahabta ila al-Kuwaiti ya Muhammad. Did you go to Kuwait? Oh, Muhammad. Okay, Muhammad. Naam dhahabtu. So once again, put a sukoon on the ba, on the last letter, and put the pronoun at the end. So here it's the person, the mukhatab is I. Well, I'm sorry, not mukhatab. This is the person actually speaking. Okay, I went. Okay, so this is the mutakallim. So the heb to I went. So this is actually is a mistake here. This is supposed to be sukoon over the ba. The heb to I went. Okay, hamidun wa zamiluka. So once again, zamil is zamilun with tanween. Get rid of one dhamma, and you add the possessive pronoun, becomes zamiluka. Wa zamiluka aina abuhu. Aina abuhu. Remember the extra wow. So we have here when we add. This is anytime we add the possessive pronoun to ab or ach. They both, are used the same way. So, aina abuhu. Where is his father? Okay. Abuhu fin Yaban. His father is in Yaban, in Japan. Huwa tajirun kabirun. Okay, so let's move down a little bit. Now, so he's asking a question. You see the aleph at the beginning with the hamza on top, indicating the question's coming. Laka. So remember, this is laam and milkiyyah. And it is a laam for possession, but we don't have a kasra. Why? Because we added this possessive pronoun. So whenever you add one of these possessive pronouns, the dama'ir muttasila, then you give a fatha to the laam and milkiyyah, okay, instead of a kasra. Except for when you're talking about ana, I, then it's li. Okay, it's li. You still have a kasra under the laam. So here it becomes with the fatha, you put the possessive pronoun alaka. So meaning, do you have is what it means. Do you belongs to you, you would translate it as you have. Alaka akhun ya Muhammadu. Do you have a brother? Akhun ya Muhammadu. Okay, Muhammadun na'am li akhun wahidun. Yes, I have one brother. So notice here, lam retains its kasra when we're talking about ana, I. Then we keep the kasra. We don't change it to a fatha. Li akhun wahidun. Ismuhu Usamatu. So Sama is also a masculine name with a ta marbuta at the end. And since it's a proper name, it only has one haraka. It doesn't have tanween at the end. Okay. So tanween is when you have a double haraka. So we just have one haraka. Ismuhu, his name, ismuhu Usamatu. Wa huwa ma'i. So remember the word ma'a. Let's put it here. Okay. Let's see. Ma'a. So ma'a. So you have a fatha over both of these letters. Okay. Ma'. Ma'a. What happens when you make it with, which it means with. So when you make it with me and you add this ya, then the ayn gets a kasra. All right. So you no longer have a fatha with other possessive pronouns like when you add ka, ma'aka, ma'aki, ma'akum, ma'ana, it retains this fatha over the ayn. But when you add ya, then the ayn gets a kasra. It changes. Okay. So just pay attention to that. So huwa ma'i. And all the ya does is elongate the sound of the e, the kasra sound. Okay. Huwa ma'i. He's with me. Huna, here. Fil Madinatil Munawwarati. In Medina and Munawwara, which is the city of the Prophet. So that's one of the many ways we say it. Munawwara, Munawwar means to be illuminated or enlightened. Where a place, when you put nur, you put light somewhere, then that's Munawwar. So like a room, when it becomes illuminated, you turn the light switch on, it's Munawwar. Okay, but Munawwar means like it's given light, like just like in English we say, the person's enlightened. That's what it's referring to. It was filled with light or was enlightened due to. That's the place of Risala and Muhammadiyah. That's where the message of the Prophet Muhammad came. Madinah and Munawwara. Now, so here we have once again we have laam and milkiyyah with a ya, so it retains its kasra. So we say wali ukhtun wahidatun. So notice instead of wahidan is we referring to a brother. It's masculine. So it's li akhun wahidun. Now we're referring to female. He said li ukhtun, a sister wahidatun. So you had the ta marbuta, put a fatha over the dal, and wahid, the last letter, and it becomes li ukhtun wahidatun. I have one sister. If I stop here, then I say ismuha Zainabu. But if I continue, wahida tusmuha, wahidatun tunsmuha Zainabu. Her name. So we add the ha. When you see this ha here, and it has this aleph with no hamza on top, elongates it. This right here refers to her. Okay. So it's ismun with a tanween. Because we're adding this possessive pronoun, we take away one dhamma and one haraka, and it becomes ismuha, her name. So ismuha, her name, Zainabu is Zainabu, and notice Zainab has no tanween. Okay, it only has a dhamma at the end. Zainabu, okay, which with a lot of feminine names are like this. Okay, Wahia, and she is fil Iraqi. She's in Iraq. And you can say al-Iraqi, because this is not mamnu' min as-sarf. It's not mamnu'. So you can change the end. Fil Iraqi, she's in Iraq. Ma'a, with zawjiha. So notice ma'a caused zawjiha to be what? Majroor. He made it majroor. So the ma'a is also from huruf al-jar. Okay, it's also a harf jar. So it causes whatever's after it to be majroor. And the sign of majroor usually is kasra, right? Usually. Okay. Ma zawjiha. Okay. So she's in Iraq with her husband. Zawjuha. So this is so once again it is possessive, right? So we can only have we can't have tanween. So one dhamma, and then the ha, the elongated ha here, means her. So zawjuha, her husband, muhandisun. Her husband is an engineer. Okay, so clear it and move to the next one. نعم حامد. Okay. عندك سيارة يا أخي. Do you have a car, oh my brother. So we notice so the asking a question, عندك. So that's عند means with, but if you want to indicate possession, like this is another way you can indicate possession. Like instead of using a laam and milkiyyah, if you want to ask somebody if they own or possess something, you could use عند, and then you put the pronoun which indicates who you're speaking to, or who's speaking. Like if I want to say I have a car, I could say عندي سيارة, عندي. Whereas here it's talking about you masculine, so you add this ka with a fatha, it becomes عندك, with you, like literally means like with you. But we translate it like, do you have عندك سيارة يا أخي? Do you have a car? يا أخي. And here, notice this is the exception with ab and akh. We always have that extra wow, except when we add the yeah that refers back to ana, I, so my. So he's saying my brother, right? Yeah, akhi. Okay, so in this case, the kha gets a kasra, and the ya just elongates the sound. Ya akhi. Okay, do you have a car? Oh, my brother. Okay, Muhammadan. La. Ma indi. So notice this is the ma that's used for nephew. It's used for negation. Okay, it doesn't mean what here. This is when you see ma in front of, this is one way you can negate something. So he's negating having a car. So ma indi. And notice there's no fatha over the dal. Why? Because ya causes the dal in inda to take a kasra, and the ya just elongates it. So this is when it refers back to ana. Ma indi. I don't have siyaratun, a car. Indi. Okay, so once again, kasra under the dal because it is ya. Indi, I have darajatun. I have a bike. Darajatun. Hamza, Hamzatu, Hamza. Indahu siyaratun. He has a car. So notice the dal, the last letter in inda, it retains that fatha over the dal, except when we refer back to ana, when it's I. When we refer back to ana, showing possession, and we add this ya for possession, then it becomes indi. It gets a kasra, and the ya only just elongates the sound. Okay, so here's indahu. He has the who at the end. This is actually what we call the ضمير منفصل غير متصل, يعني it's not connected, right? So this is what a ha that's used for the ha that's a pronoun referring to him. This is how it looks when it's not connected to the word, because you with del you can't connect the next letter to it, as you see here. Like, see, you have del and then the ya comes after it. It's not connected. Same thing with the kaf, right? Whether indaha, and so this is what for the ha for huwa, for him or his, this is what it's going to look like when it's not connected to the word. It looks different. And what's connected to the word is more like, you see how it comes out and then comes around. And so like, but with inda, it can't connect to the dal. So that's why it's separated like that. It's one fossil. Okay. Indahu siyaratan, he has a car. Tamarin. Okay, let's clear that. Here. Boom. Tamarin, exercises. أجب عن الأسئلة الآتية. Okay, answer the following questions. Okay. Mesmuka. So here, this is exercises basically seeing your knowledge and progression. So if you want to get the answers, you just go back to the story. So Mesmuka is not asking you like what's your name. They want us to go back here to the conversation, to the hiwar, and let's see where he asked that. No. So he asked him here, Mesmuka. And so the next, so the answers, your answers right here. The ijaba, ismi Muhammadan. Okay. And similarly, you're going to go through all the questions like that. Min aina anta, where are you from? So let's go back and let's see where he asked him, when he asked him where he's from. Hamid asked him here, Min aina anta? He said, Ana min al-Hindi. Ana min al-Hindi. And it's Hindi because of min, harf jar, it's majroor. Okay. Continue. Ma lughatuka. What is your language? You can just go back here, and he told him, "Lugati at ordiyatu." Now, just for the sake of time, I want to go through all of them, but this is something you could practice yourself too. Like you can answer these questions for yourself. Like, Muka, what is your name? And then you can say, it's me, and then your name. Min aina anta, and I'm in, let's see if you're from America, and I'm in America, and I'm in Madinah to New York, and I'm in kada wa kada, I'm from here. There, ma lugatuka, what is your language? Lugati, if your native language is English, lugati at Inglisia, okay? Or whatever your native language is, and you could practice like this for all asking these questions for yourself, because all this is back in the hiwar. All the answers in the hiwar is just showing that you understand the words, right? You understand the vocabulary. Aina abuka, aina umuka, alaka akhun. He asked him, alaka ukhtan, ainaka sayaratan, or hakada. So inshallah, for the sake of time, inshallah, this is something you can practice on your own. Okay. ضع في الفراغ فيما يلي الضمير. Like, so either who or ha. These are both possessive pronouns. And so it's saying to put in the blank from what follows the pronoun or noun who or ha. His, referring back to his or him. And ha refers back to he, refers back to her. Okay. So هذه البنت طالبة. So we're referring to a woman. So would we say ismuhu or ismuha? So since it's a woman, we have to say ismuha because that refers back to here, she or her. Okay. Ismuha Zainabu. Okay. Muhammadan tabibun. Wa ibnu. So it can't be ha because it's referring back to Muhammad is a man. So it had to be ibnuhu. Wa ibnuhu, hamza to wasl. So you go right to the ba. Wa ibnuhu muhandisan. هذا الرجل تاجر كبير. This man is a big merchant. هذا الرجل تاجر كبير. اسمه عبد الله. عبد الله. It's Allah has the name Ism Jalala has kasra at the end because it's idafa construction. Abdullahi. Okay, so Abd is Abdun is the mudaf, and Allah is the mudaf ilayhi in this in his name. So Abdullah. So his name, هذا الرجل تاجر كبير. So we're referring to a man. So it's اسمه Abdullah. آمنة في الغرفة. So Amina is in the room. وأمو. So it can't be who, right? So it's a woman, so it has to be أمها. وأمها في المطبخ. And her mom is in the kitchen. عائشة طبيبة وأختها. And her sister ممرضة. So Aisha is a doctor and her sister is a nurse. خرج محمد من الفصل وخرج معه زميله. Because we're referring back to Muhammad. Muhammad's a man, so and with him is his colleague or your classmate. Usually, somebody in the class with you or one of your work buddies. Your colleague at work would be a zamil. Okay. خرج محمد من الفصل وخرج معه زميله. And Muhammad came out from the classroom, and his zamilahu, his colleague or classmate, exited or came out with him. Ma'ahu. Okay. So remember, with everything except for the ya, the ayn and ma'a retains its fatha. Ma'ahu. Okay. Yani with him. حتى خمسة أسئلة وأجوبة كالمثال الآتي. Okay. So here, hati, yani this is a verb that doesn't really it doesn't change, no matter what. Like this is something also memnu' min as-sarf. It's always hati. Okay. So and it means like bring or get, hati khamsata 5 asidatan wa ajwibatan, and 5 questions and answers. Kal midal al-ati. So this ka here means like or as. Kal, and we have hamza to wasl, so it's going to go right to the lam. Kal midal al-ati. And it also makes what comes after it majroor. Kal midal al-ati. Like the following example. Okay, so Bring 5 questions and answers like the following example. Okay, so here we have the question. عندك قلم? Do you have a pen? نعم عندي قلم. Yes, I have a pen. So I want you to bring 5 questions and answers, yourself, just like this. So you follow this framework, real easy. You can say عندك سيارة? Do you have a car? And you can say نعم عندي سيارة, or you can put لا ما عندي سيارة. طيب. So the next one, هاتي, bring خمسة أسئلة وأجوبة كالمثال الآتي. So you're saying the same thing. Bring 5 questions and answers like the following example. So it's a ka here. It's a ka with a fatha. Ka. It just means like or as. Okay. عندك قلم? لا ما عندي قلم. Okay, so here they want you to negate it, right? So yes, do you have a pen? No, I don't have a pen. لا ما عندي قلم. So you just go through the examples, like someone, you're talking to a homeless guy and you say عندك بيت? Do you have a house? And he says لا ما عندي بيت. Now just bring 5 examples from yourself here. Okay, تأمل ما يلي. So look over, reflect on what follows. Okay, so here we have بيت, right? So بيت is a house, and now we're going to use all the we're going to use the possessive pronouns, and notice how the last letter changes. The harf al-akhir changes in each one. So we have beiti. So beitun, it lost its tanween and the ta got a kasra, and we added the ya at the end. We made a beiti, my house. Okay. Then the next one. So with all of these, whenever you add this possessive pronoun, so you have this one here, ha, hu, ka, ya. The only difference, like with ya, for ana, it gets a kasra on the last letter. For the other letters, you get rid of you. In each case, you're getting rid of tanween. Okay, so there's no more. So with the other ones, you get rid of one dhamma, and so you have beituka, your house. Beituka, masculine, your house. Beituhu, his house, masculine. Beituhu, beituha, her house. Beituha. Clear that. Go to the next one. Okay. Okay, the word idafa, this is actually the idafa is the you can say the masdar, the verbal noun for this command form right here. Adaf. Adaf means add. Adaf mean add, join, and hakada. Adaf al-asma al-atiyata, add the following nouns. إلى المتكلم والمخاطب والغائب والغائبة كما هو موضح في المثال. So add the following nouns to the mutakallim. Mutakallim would be who? Mutakallim is ana. Okay, so let's just make that clear, because it's the person speaking. Ana, also nahnu, we would be mutakallimun, people talking. Whereas mukhatab is the one that's addressed. So the one that's being addressed is enta, enti, entum. You masculine, you feminine, you plural, you dual, kuma. Well, ghaib is the person that's absent. Yani he's not the person, he or she is not being addressed. So the ghaib is huwa. So either it's connected to mir muttasil like this, with a dhamma, huwa. I'm sorry, who, like baytuhu, siyaratuhu. If it's not connected, if it's damir munfasil, if it's separated, then it's going to look like this. Okay, and then for she, it's ha. Ha is the ghaiba, because you're talking about, because ghaib means absent, not present. Where so it's meaning like the person that you're not speaking directly to him, like you say siyaratu, his car, baytu, his house. Whereas mukhatab, you're speaking directly to them, you're addressing them. So the verb khataba means to address. So mukhatab is enta, enti, entum, like you all, you two, etc. Okay. So add the following nouns too. المتكلم والمخاطب والغائب والغائبة كما هو موضح, as it is made clear. يعني it's made واضح. So this وضح يوضح is to clarify, explain, يعني make clear, to make something واضح, make something clear. So موضح, it's a مفعول, يعني so it's clarified, explained. في المثال, in the example. So here we have قلم, we have a pen, and so now we're going to go through, and first المتكلم, here is أنا, this is the متكلم. هذا قلمي, this is my pen. هذا قلمي. And now we're going to do the مخاطب, which is the only one they're going over so far as the masculine you, masculine you, is هذا قلمك. This is your pen. That's مخاطب. غائب would be هذا قلمه. This is his pen. هذا قلمه. And then غائبة, why does it have the tab مربوطة? Because it's referring to her. And he's feminine. هذا قلمها. هذا قلمها. Her pen. So what you do is you go through and you do the same thing with all these examples. You have kitab, هذا كتابي, هذه كتابك, هذه كتابه, هذا كتابها. And likewise with all of them. So surir. So we're basically, let's make sure with all these, you can't have tanween, right? When you're adding, just remember with the pronoun. So like suriruka. So we'll just let's do it with just remember the difference with when you're talking about ana, is this last letter gets a kasra and it has you put the ya at the end. So kitabi, suriri, ismi, mandiri, ibni, sayarati, miftahi, yaddi, my hand. Okay, and then when for all the other ones, you take off one of the haraka, the tanween. So each one of these is going to get a dhamma in the rest of these. Like kitabuka, kitabuhu, kitabuha. Okay. Suriruka, suriruhu, suriruha. Ismuka, ismuhu, ismuha. وهكذا all the way down, inshallah. Inshallah, it should be easy. Now, just go down some more. Iqra, read. Okay. So here we see this laam milkiyyah when it's used with the different pronouns. So this is the one for ana, and it retains the kasra, right? This is the only one that retains the kasra. Li. So it means to me or for me, yani, and literally you translate it as I have. Li, I have. Laka. So all the other ones, you put a fatha over the laam in milkiyyah, right? So laka for you, lahu for him, laha for her. So you would translate it as you have, laka, you have, lahu, he has, laha, she has. So the first one is, let's see, was there, okay, they just wanted you to read it. Okay, so make sure you understand. Okay. Li ukhtun wahidatun. I have one sister. Li, I have one sister. Ukhtun wahidatun. Alaka akhun. Do you have a brother? La. Ma li akhun. So see, notice this ma is the ma and nafi. Ma and nafi is the ma for negation. Once again. So it doesn't mean, because it can mean, like we say ma hada means what? What is this? When you see it here, like this, in front of like inda or li, a lot of times it's for negation. Okay, well, it can mean what? You just got to look at the context. Okay, mali. So he's saying I don't have. Mali akhun. I don't have a brother. Okay. Ukhti laha. My sister. She has. Laha. She has. Tiflun saghirun. She has a young child, or a baby can be a tiflun. Tiflun saghirun. Okay. Zamiri, my colleague or my classmate. Zamiri lahu. Lahu. He has. Lahu. Akhun wa ukhtun. He has a brother and a sister. Okay. Lahu akhun wa ukhtun. Now, next one. Naqulu. Indi kitabun. I have a book. Wa naqulu li akhun. La naqulu indi akhun. Now, so this is something, might be a little hard to remember at first. So just when you're talking about siblings, right, or you're talking about family members, You don't use indi. Indi meaning I have. But with other objects, no problem. You can say like indi kitab, indi siyaratun, indi qalamun, indi daftarun. When we're talking about here, they give an example like a family members. Like when we get like, so if you saying you have a brother, you say li akhun. I have a brother. Li akhun. You don't say indi akhun. Likewise, you wouldn't say li. You say li abun. You don't say indi abun, right? Or indi umman, indi ukhtun. For all these different. Inshallah, they'll give us more examples to make that clear. So now we're moving on to ma'a. Ma'a means with ma'a. So kharaja hamidun ma'a khalidun. Khalidin. Okay. So hamidun, he went out. Kharaja means he went out. Ma'a with khalidin. So Khalid becomes majroor because of ma'a. Ma'a makes it majroor, the word after it. He went out with khalidin. ذهب الطبيب مع الهندسي. So the doctor, he went. So ذهب just means he went. Okay, right? He went. الطبيب مع المهندسي. It's مجرور because of مع. He went out with the engineer. جلس المدرس مع المدير. The teacher, he sat. جلس, he sat. مع with المدير, with the mudir. Okay. من معك يا علي. Who is with you? يا علي. Okay, so you just, when you want to add a possessive, you just add the possessive pronoun to ask with you. Okay, so you have ma and just add that pronoun to it. من معك. من معك, who's with you? يا علي. And it's aliyu. Why? Because of ya nida. Ya nida makes the name, the person that's being called can't have tanween anymore. It becomes it would just have one haraka, right? So you no longer have tanween. So we're just going to be ya aliyu. Man ma'aka ya aliyu. Ma'i. So remember, this is the only one. Likewise, like indi, the dal gets a kasra. So ma'a, instead of a fatha, you have a kasra when you use the ya referring to ana. Ma'i, ma'i, I have zamiri. Okay, so man ma'aka ya aliyu, who is with you, ya aliyu. Ma'i is with me, zamiri, my colleague or my classmate is with me. Aminatu ma'aha zawjuha. So notice that zawj did not become majroor. Why? Because it is ha. This ha kind of got in the way because so when you make it possessive like that, ma'aha, then ma'a can no longer affect the word after it because this is the word after it now. That ha becomes the word after it. This attached pronoun. Okay, it's damir muttasil. So aminatu ma'aha zawjuha. She has her husband with her. Okay. Aminatu ma'aha zawjuha. Okay, the next one. Kharaja abi min al-bayt. My father went out from the house. Man kharaja ma'ahu. Who went out with him? Okay. Kharaja ma'ahu ammi. Ammi. Is the yeah is actually supposed to be here in the meme. So am means paternal uncle. So when you want to make it my paternal uncle, then it's that last letter, like everything else. When you add this yeah that refers back to ana, is going to get a kasra. So it becomes ammi, my uncle. Okay. Man kharaja ma'ahu ammi. Okay. Baytun. So baytun, a house. Baytuka, your house. Baytuhu, his house. Baytuha, her house. Bayti, my house. Abun. So notice this, the extra wow in everything except for when we use yeah, when we make it my dad. Okay. So abuka, abuhu. So abuka, your father. Abuhu, his father. Abuha, her father. Abi, my father. Abi. Achun so it's both. There's a strange thing that both ab and ach do. So same thing with achun. When you add the attached pronoun, you need this extra wow, and except for when you add the yeah. Okay, when it's the yeah that refers back to ana, to I, me. Okay, achun, achuka, achuhu, achuha, achi, my brother. Okay, so achuka, your brother, achuhu, his brother, achuha, her brother, achi, my brother. Abi wa umi fil bayt. in Beiti. My father and my mother is in al-Bayt, is in the house. Okay. Aina abuka ya Hamidun. Where is your father? Ya Hamid. Dhahaba ila suqi. He went to the market. Dhahaba ila suqi. Akhuka tabibun. Is your brother a doctor? Akhuka tabibun. La huwa mudarrisun. No, he is a teacher. La huwa mudarrisun. Zainabu fi Riyadh. Zainab is in Riyadh. Fi Riyadh. أخوها, her brother, في الطائف وأبوها في المدينة المنورة. So her brother أخوها is in طائف في الطائف وأبوها and her father في المدينة المنورة is in المدينة المنورة. Okay. هذا الطالب أبوه وزير وأخوه تاجر كبير. Okay, so this student هذا الطالب Abuhu, his father is a wazirun, wa akhuhu tajirun kabirun, and his brother is a big, he's a big time merchant, right? Tajirun kabirun. Okay, like I said, kabir doesn't just mean great or big in a sense of size. It could mean like the size of, like we're here, the tajir, what kind of business he does. Like he might, he's a big time businessman. He's pulling in a lot of money, right? So he's tajirun kabirun. Okay, now ذهب أخي إلى المدرسة وذهب أبي. ذهب أخي إلى المدرسة وذهب أبي إلى الجامعة. So my brother, he went to the school, and my father, he went to the university. ذهب أخي إلى المدرسة وذهب أبي إلى الجامعة. Okay, so we have some names here. Muhammadun. So notice these are all masculine names, but so the top row, they all have tanween. So notice you have Muhammadun, Khalidun, Hamidun, Abbasun, Mahmudun. Okay, they're all masculine names, and all of these have tanween. And these are the ones, they're masculine names, but they have a tat mabuta. So remember I said there's exceptions to the rule that when you see a tat mabuta, it doesn't always necessarily mean that it's something feminine. These are all masculine names. Hamzatu, and notice they don't have tanween. Okay, usually when the tamabut is at the end of a name, then it doesn't have tanween. Hamzatu, Talhatu, Usamatu, Muawiyatu, Ikrimatu, right? And these are all well-known names, inshallah. You've heard them before. Ikrimatu. اقرأ الأسماء الآتية واضبط أواخرها. Okay, read the following asma, the following nouns, and you want to put the vowel point. Wadbut, awakhirah. Put the right vowel point on the end of them. So here's this, you're showing that you understand how to put the vowel points. And inshallah, the answer is right up there. So you have Khalidun, Hamza. So what would you put on a tab mabuta? It's a proper name, so you can put one dhamma. Hamza to Ammarun. Anasun, Muawiyah to, because it's a proper name. Hamidun, Usama to, no tanween, that's okay. Usama to, Ikrima to, proper name. Abbasun, Muhammadun, Talha to. Al-Kalimat al-Jadida, new words. Al-Zamilu, Al-Zawj, Zamilu, colleague, classmate. Al-Zawju, the husband. Wahidun, one. Fatan is a young man, a youth. Fatan, ma'a, with. Tiflu, the baby, or the young child. Like tiflu is is going to be like baby, toddler, in that range. And Kuwaitu, the country, and Kuwait. Lugatu, the language. Alhamdulillah. So we انتهينا من الدرس العاشر. We finished the 10th lesson, and so inshallah next class will be a dars al-hadi ashar, will be the 10th lesson inshallah. Any questions, please leave them in the comments, and we'll get back to you in the next lesson inshallah. Barakallahu feekum wa salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullahu khairan.